Hi, this is Matt from tracyandmatt.co.uk, and here I have, a large black cube from Nokia. Now you may be wondering what it is, as I was a couple of days ago when I actually received it. It weighs a good couple of kilos. It's this black shiny plastic, and there's no apparent way of actually opening it. It kind of looks a bit like a bass speaker, but for the fact that it has a mini USB connector on the front and not a lot else. There are a couple of rubber feet on the bottom, but not a lot else to give away what's inside. So what we have to do in actual fact is plug that mini USB connector in and plug the other end into our laptop. Now interestingly, what we actually have to do, this is actually called a Hackerbox, we actually have to hack in to the Hackerbox to get to the contents. So that actually requires us to use a computer, be it a Mac or PC in this case, and using a laptop here. But we actually have to hack into the Hackerbox. So I'm actually connecting over COM4, and what we do is we actually start a connection, a session, and it comes up, as you can see here, Nokia, welcome to Nokia Hackerbox. And we can actually do a query here at the bottom. As you can see here, I'm just querying question mark, which gives us all the arguments that are available to actually connect to the Hackerbox. Now it says connecting argument opens the box, so well, that's obviously going to be connecting people. Typing with the wrong hand. There we go, connecting people. Now if I actually just type that in, press return, initiating sequence, and I'll move out of the way and you can see what happens. And the top opens, complete with, I don't know if you can really see that, there's actually a small amount of smoke coming out of the box, and we'll disconnect that now. And very cool, inside we have obviously the Nokia N900. Now we're going to have a look at the N900 in a bit more detail in just a few minutes. Clearly this isn't your average retail packaging. This is something that they've sent out to reviewers and bloggers. Very, very cool. Possibly one of the most unusual unboxings that I've ever done. So underneath we have the manual itself, which is fairly lightweight. It is, really more of a getting started guide than a full manual, but that's in there. I then have apparently some cake. Well, I'm sure that's not part of the retail packaging. Some things in here are clearly not going to be part of the retail packaging, but I think it'll be obvious with that. Those that are, obviously the handset and the manual will be, as will be this cable, which is the AV cable. So there's a 4-pole 3.5mm jack on one end, and then a composite and left and right audio, so you can actually plug that into your TV and use your footage and everything from the camera. We're going to have a charger, which is a very small charger, pretty typical of Nokia at the moment though. It has the really micro connector on that end to actually charge up. Also have a micro USB charger. As to which we're probably going to actually get with the retail package, I'm assuming it will be the micro USB rather than the other style. I think it will be the micro USB style charger. Both of those are obviously in my box here. We then have a micro USB to USB sync and charge cable. That's a standard item. Then there's a set of headphones, which have 4-pole 3.5mm jack on one end. It's actually a headset rather than a set of headphones, to be clear. We have this inline microphone with a couple of push buttons. I assume they may double as a volume control, but that does rock. Whether that's intentional, I'm not actually sure. Whether it's just one button that just does rock, not sure. There is a microphone in there. Then on the other end, obviously we have the headphones. Headphones themselves aren't bad. We've seen these on some other Nokia handsets, and they aren't bad. They're among the best of the headphones that you're going to get with a handset, but you do have the option of using your own. There is a small cleaning cloth for cleaning the screen. I'm sure that will be a standard item. Then there is, I'm not sure what this is. Let's open this up. Looks like it might be a case or a pouch. Yep, oh, okay, it's large pouch. Okay, this is going to be for carrying your cables and accessories. So your charger and actually the cables that come with it can go into this pouch. That's quite a good idea that that's supplied. Again, whether or not that's with the full retail, can't really comment. We'll try and find it out. I have a box. I'm guessing that's not going to be part of the full retail. Then have this adapter. We've seen this before. There's a micro USB on one end, and it does allow us to plug in the older style of Nokia charger, and as well as the smaller Nokia charger that we've got in the box. So pretty useful. And then have another thing here, which is, oh, this looks cool. It's a set of, by the looks of it, yeah, Nokia Bluetooth headphones. So that's very cool. We're trying those out for sure, and again, I'm pretty sure that isn't going to be part of the full retail package, but yeah, cool that we've got a set of the Bluetooth headphones. They do fold, which is quite good, so that means that they are a little bit more portable when you're actually not using them, so that's cool. We'll look at those in a bit more detail at another time. Then we have a micro SDHC memory card. I have a 16 gig here. It has a micro SD to SD card adapter, and also this plug-in USB, so that we can actually plug in the memory card and plug the thing into USB on a PC or laptop, or obviously a Mac, so we can actually read the memory card. That's cool. Again, whether or not that's part of the full retail package, I'm assuming that the memory card will be part of the full retail, but I would doubt very much that the USB adapter is part of the full retail. And then last of all, in the bottom, I have the user manual for the headset itself. So it's a BH504 stereo headset. That is in the bottom of the box. That's all for the box itself. As you can see there's a lot of gubbins underneath, which we obviously can't get to. But it is a very, very cool presentation. Nokia did this in the past with a couple of their other headsets rather than their handsets. You may have seen the one that we had that was like a treasure chest. So this is very cool. Certainly eye-catching and certainly worth talking about. So Nokia have achieved something there. I'm just going to switch the camera so that we can go to a closer shot so that we can actually look at the handset itself. Okay, so let's just carry on and have a look at the N900 itself. This is just going to be a hardware tour. I will do another video where we actually look in more detail at the OS. So on the front we have a large display, which we're just going to peel off the protector there. We have a fairly large display. It's a 3.5 inch diagonal display, which is 800 by 480 pixels. The handset or tablet or whatever you want to call it, I guess it's kind of an internet browser stroke phone, wants to be in this orientation, hence the logos and the text being that way round. So it is 800 by 480 pixels. Do have a forward-facing VGA camera, which we use for video conferencing, video calling. Little hole there is actually the loudspeaker for when you're actually using it as a phone. You use it that way round. So that's the top and that's the bottom. So it's that using that orientation. So as I say, 800 by 480 pixels. It is a resistive touchscreen because we do have a stylus, which is actually just hiding along the bottom there. So we can actually touch the screen. Well, we can use it with our fingers, I'm sure, but it is resistive, so it works with a stylus. Quick tour around then of the handset. We have on, well, what is effectively the bottom, we have the 3.5mm headphone and AV connector, so we can use the wired headset, plug in the AV connector so we can plug it into a TV, and also use our own standard headphones. Little hole there is actually the microphone. Little switch there, spring loaded, is for actually releasing the battery cover, which we'll come to in a second, and that grill there is for a loudspeaker. Unusually for handsets of this era, we do have an infrared port there, so we can use infrared gate. That is included. As I say, that's fairly unusual these days. We have a dedicated camera button, which feels to be a two-stage camera button, so half press for focus and press again for taking the picture. We do then have the power button and an up and down volume control rocker. On the effectively the top of the handset, we have another loudspeaker grill, so I'm assuming that we can actually output the audio in stereo, so that's quite cool. Then we have the micro USB sync and charge connector. There is also a hole there, which I assume that's so that we can actually connect up a phone charm or a lanyard. Really nothing to see on this other side though, apart from the stylus really at the bottom there that pulls out. The stylus is pretty large, it is fixed, it's plastic, useful size I would say, not telescopic, which is good. I don't like the telescopic stylus, but that slips into the bottom. On the back then we actually do have a 5 megapixel autofocus camera, which is a Carl's Zeiss lens. Cover opens up like so. We do have a couple of LEDs which are our flash, and then the camera itself or the lens is just underneath. Nice to have the cover. Does definitely protect the camera when it's not in use, especially if you're going to put it face down on a table. Having the cover and also this raised area does protect the lens and obviously the LED flash. There is also this little kickstand at the bottom there, which means that you can just open that out and then you can set it on a desk or a table, so it just angles the display towards you, again helping to protect that back cover on the screen. Although that does feel a little flimsy, it's just plastic, so it's not going to take any, well, very much if any abuse, to be honest, but that is just does allow you to angle it like that. So it means that if you're looking at watching video, or if you actually just want it to sit on your desk and display your calendar or something, you can obviously do so, and it's angling it towards you. Back cover then pops off like so. It's kind of difficult to remove. It does feel a bit springy and plastic. Well, it obviously is plastic, but it just has a couple of clips to hold it in place, which as you pull them kind of feel like they're going to break. So don't think you really want to be removing the back cover too often. I suspect that those small lugs around the side won't take an awful lot, but our micro SD or SDHC memory card can pop in here. Do have to remove the back cover to get to that, which is a kind of a shame, especially as I've obviously mentioned that the back cover is I don't think it will take an awful lot of abuse. And then the battery itself pops in at the bottom, so let's just remove the battery like so, and then that's where our SIM card goes, under the battery. So obviously you have to remove the battery to get to the SIM card, but again that is pretty standard, and it's also quite a good idea to not swap the SIM cards while the phone is switched on. So let's just pop the back cover back on, and as you can see it just kind of clicks into place, and we'll just power up. While it's turning on, let me just run down the specification for you. It's 111 millimeters effectively wide in this case, and just under 60 millimeters in that direction. I guess that's to look at a typical handset, 111 millimeters tall by just under 60 millimeters wide and just under 20 millimeters thick. Just as a quick comparison to some of the other handsets that we have that are of the same sort of format, we do have the Touch Pro 2 next to that, obviously a dummy Touch Pro 2, but very similar size, slightly the N900 being slightly shorter, and very similar in size, slightly thicker. And to also look at the Motorola Milestone that we're reviewing at the moment, again the N900 is a bit shorter, but very similar width, but chunkier than the Milestone, as you can see there. The other obvious thing that we need to look at is the keyboard, which slides on out at the bottom there. 3 rows of keys, slightly better I would say than the N810 that we looked at a while ago, but and they are individual keys, quite flat, but they do feel quite positive when you tap at them, and obviously you've got to use the shift function to get to the numeric keys. Would have thought that you could have actually put a larger keyboard on there, because it doesn't move a great deal as you open up. It could have moved a little bit further back the screen there and could have given us a bit more space for a keyboard. So I think we could have certainly got to at least 4 rows of keys there. So it's I would say that's possibly the slightly limiting thing about the keyboard. But there, that's it's not too bad. The mechanism, it feels fairly positive. It's not as good as the Milestone, which the Milestone impresses us with its keyboard mechanism. It's very, very fluid, and obviously with the Touch Pro 2, Touch Pro 2 has definitely got the better keyboard with its 5 rows, and the fact that the keys are completely individual, much more spaced out, and we can actually tilt, which we obviously can't do with the N900. So let's push that to one side, put preview. So let's just actually look at the menus. So tapping the button at the top there will actually bring up the menu screen or the main display. The operating system is Maemo Tablet OS, or Nokia Internet Tablet OS. It's sort of an evolution of the OS that was on the previous Nokia Internet tablets, like the N810. This is Maemo 5.0, which is effectively based upon a Linux kernel and a Linux base. Which have 256 meg of RAM and a 768 meg of ROM, and we also, according to the spec that I'm just looking at now, have around 30 gig of internal memory. If that's correct, that sounds pretty good, because we also can put in a 16 gig memory card, so we would have plenty of storage. As I say, 800 by 480 pixel display, does have built-in GPS, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 2.1. Quad band for GSM, so voice will work practically everywhere in the world, and quad band for 3G, which again will probably give you 3G coverage pretty much wherever you take it. So looking at the display, it is extremely bright, even with this obviously bright conditions that we're in, and obviously the reflection that we've got, it's still extremely visible. Colours are pretty good, although there are only 65,000 colours apparently on screen, or shades of gradation. It does seem quite impressive. So of the icons that we have web, media player, calendar, photos, contacts, Nokia Maps, which is excellent, settings, and then we have more, and we have PDF reader, blocks, which I guess is a Tetris clone, chess, mahjong, Amazon as an app, that's quite cool. Sketch obviously allows us to draw on the screen. Facebook application also, again, pretty good. There's also a backup app as well. So pop back out of there. I guess we can go back. So how we get back from here, I'm not sure. I would just tap outside of that area and it goes back to this screen. And again, we tap just outside of there. Okay, so then we have the welcome screen. On top there, it has a little indicator saying that there's no SIM card, no battery, and obviously the time. It's not 6:05 in the morning though. I haven't set the time. I'm assuming that if we push the camera button, it will launch the camera app, which it does. It's asking me if I want to enable geotagging, which I shall for now. And we'll also open the little lens cover and accept the disclaimer. Let's bring something in the way so that we can take a picture. So let's take a half press to set the focus, which it has done, and the little lines around the outside have gone green, and we press again to take the picture. And the picture's been captured. Well, looking at that looks like a pretty good picture that has been taken there. It seems to be quite impressive. Let's have a look, see if we can actually find it. There we are, and we can actually display it. Yeah, that looks like a pretty good picture. The display is very good actually on the device anyway, and the picture looks to be pretty good in itself. So camera looks to be fairly impressive. As I say, we'll have a look at the OS and the other bits and pieces on the device in a bit more detail when it comes to do, well, the full review, but we'll also do another video of the full OS and the other bits and pieces and some of the other applications. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. On Twitter we are Tracy and Matt. Definitely worth doing so. Last couple of days of our competition that we're running in and right up to Christmas. So get your applications and your entries in as quickly as possible. You can also find our Facebook fan page. On Facebook we are tracyandmatt.co.uk. Definitely worth following us on there also. If you've missed any of those details, just check out the intro page of this video, which has the URLs that you need to actually find us. And finally, don't forget to come back to tracyandmatt.co.uk within about the next couple of weeks. We'll have a full review of the Nokia N900 for you.